So it looks like AAA Gaming's in a little bit of a precarious situation these days. Lots of different things happening out there. Of course, we're all talking about the Xbox issues, and there's been some recent PlayStation issues. We know that a Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be announced fairly soon, but you know, something that has been really delivering in games has been indie titles, and I've been playing a bunch of them on my Steam Deck and also on my ROG Ally, and I've got some to tell you about right now. But first, I just want to give a nice shout out to our sponsor, 505 Games.
A soldier's greatest wish is not to be working after all. If it helps, there was a noble sacrifice for the betterment of humankind.
Laying down arms and surrendering is, well, it's not the worst of our available options. We should just finish this!
All right, who's next? Keep 'em coming.
I also chose my path, and I will see it through to the end!
Thank you so much, 505, for supporting this video. Now, the first game I want to tell you guys about is Another Crab's Treasure, and this is a wacky idea where you play as a little crab named Krill who has his house, basically his shell, taken away from him. Step one is you got to find another shell and you got to survive. And this is an interesting take because it's very cartoony and accessible, but there's actually a tremendous amount of challenge and depth in this title. It's a Souls-like game that looks like an animated series, and of course there's all kinds of threats and enemies out in the ocean, as well as a lot of garbage, a lot of litter and trash that you have to pick up to clean up and can convert into different skills and accessories and abilities that will help you take on some of the evil enemy threats that you're going to find along the way. It's incredibly accessible, it's incredibly charming, and what impressed me the most is the depth of the experience as well. This is an easy pickup if you're into mascot-type action-adventure platformers out there, if you like the Souls-like experience and you want something different. Another Crab's Treasure is pretty damn great, and it runs beautifully on either the Ally or the Steam Deck. I've also been playing Tales of Kenzera Zhao, and this is a really interesting Metroidvania that was built out of pure passion, and it's an examination of grief. You play as this character named Zhao who is trying to bring his father back to life and to deal with the ramifications of his passing, and you've got these innate mask abilities. You've got a sun mask and a moon mask, which give you different kinds of powers as you're battling through waves and waves of enemies coming out after you, and you're augmenting yourself with new abilities as you go deeper and deeper into the experience. I was really impressed by the color choices in the game. It really pops off the screen. This is like a showcase experience for the Steam Deck OLED screen. It's truly beautiful. It does feel like a lot of other Metroidvania type experiences, but it also feels fresh. It feels like a different take and a different vibe. I love the African slant on everything, the music and the atmosphere, and of course the excellent acting that's populated all the way through this. The creator of Tales of Kenzera Zhao is actually an actor, and he's just a huge fan of video games, and he wanted to build something to kind of honor the passing of his father. And it's really heartfelt, and even if it isn't the best Metroidvania game I've ever experienced, it's certainly really inviting and a lot of fun. So if you love that genre, you definitely need to check out Tales of Kenzera Zhao. And if Metroidvanias are your bag, like they are for me, you cannot pass up Animal Well. I've played quite a bit of this game. I haven't quite finished it, but I have been so blown away by this title. I got to check it out a couple of years ago at Summer Game Fest, and there were some other really cool games there, but this was one that really stuck with me. It was so different and so unique. There was a lot of chatter about the fact that each of the pixels had a lot of interesting color shading on it. It's essentially from the mind of one developer, but I'm sure lots of people helped and got this across the finish line. It's been in development for a long time, but it's so rich and it's so deep and it's so unique in its aesthetics and its design. It's a Metroidvania when you try to typify it and put it into a box. But we're talking about different abilities here. You're finding firecrackers and you're finding like a frisbee that you can throw at objects and destroy things, but you're also able to hop on it so you can kind of glide with it. You're also blowing bubbles that you can jump off of. So you've never really seen weapons, quote unquote, like this before, but it's really about the puzzle solving, just like every good Metroidvania out there. You're sort of charting your path on the map, and there are all of these different secrets and every kind of concoction you can imagine, and it's so aesthetic aesthetically pleasing. The music is terrific. The sound sort of scape of the experience is really impressive. I also love all of the haptic feedback that you get while you're playing this game. It's beautiful on controller. I've been playing this a lot on the ROG Ally plugged into my television, and it just is incredible. It's a great experience, very fluid, very inviting, very much a game that's filled with conundrums and head-scratching moments and a little bit of frustration, but it's also incredibly rewarding. It's one of those types of games where you're playing it when you're not playing. I'm thinking about it right now, but Animal Well, I can't give that a higher recommendation. You have to check that one out. I also think that Hades 2, which is definitely a huge title out there right now, they released in early access and kind of surprised everybody out there. I was really looking forward to diving into this game, and now we can, and it's not quite the 1.0 finished version of the game, but there's so much content in here. You're playing as Melanoy, the sister of the main protagonist from Hades 1, and time has passed, but you're still dealing with Olympian gods, and you're getting all kinds of different quests and different abilities. It's still a roguelike, so you're still getting defeated and having to start new runs, and you're able to equip yourself with new powers and new magic abilities that give you a little bit more bandwidth to keep growing and keep going. But I'll tell you what, it's the addictive kind of pull of the combat and the rich rewards that you get out of just that second-to-second experience. At this point, Supergiant has just got this nailed down. I've been thinking a lot about Supergiant and how they just haven't delivered a dud. Every one of their games has been special, and this game rests on the shoulders of all of that knowledge and all that experience. It's also the first sequel that they've ever made, and that speaks to the quality of Hades 1. And I also have been thinking that Hades 1 is unique enough from Hades 2, a totally different character. It's not quite the litany of different upgrade trees and stuff that you're getting in Hades 2, because of course they had to stack and build this to be a little bit different, but they both coexist nicely. They're both incredibly valuable and both worth putting onto your Steam Deck or your PC or your console. It's actually, I don't know if it's on all the consoles yet, it might just be in PC. But man, it runs incredibly well on both the Ally and the Steam Deck OLED, and I have been having so much freaking fun with this game. And it's worth every penny, even though it's only in early access. You know that this is a game, just like Hades 1 was, that Supergiant is going to support and embellish and keep adding all kinds of great content to, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed by Hades 2 by any stretch of the imagination. And the other indie that I've been playing quite a bit is a game called Little Kitty Big City, and this is almost like a breath of fresh air compared to all of these somewhat challenging experiences, or at least games that have you scratching your head like Animal Well. Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? Little Kitty Big City is very chill. I mean, you play as a cat that falls from an apartment, that's stressful, and into the city streets, into a trash can, and then gets out and has to kind of figure out how to get back up to the apartment. And along the way, as this cat in a full 3D experience, it really evokes like an era. It almost feels like it's something off the Dreamcast or something. But you're cruising around and you're completing objectives and you're talking to other little animal friends. Like a crow will ask you to find all kinds of little shiny elements and bits that you could give the crow, and then the crow will give you some new abilities so you can climb a little bit farther. You're finding feathers for other furry friends out there. You're actually catching the birds, but you let them go because you're a nice kitty. But the kitty mechanics are really well done, and I was really impressed to see my cat, who we've called Mouse. I know it's confusing, but Mouse really enjoyed this experience. She was watching it on the big screen and she was just like, whoa, entranced. And it is really fun. I'm a cat guy. I've always loved cats. So it's really fun to play as this little kitty. And the city elements have actually been pretty cool. You're going through construction zones. Puddles are a big pain in the butt for the cat. You'll see birds and other animals flitting around that you can kind of pursue and chase. There's like soccer balls that you can swipe into a net, or you can knock flower pots off. You can just have fun just being a goofy cat, you know? It's pretty damn cool. So I've been enjoying that one quite a bit. In fact, all 5 of these titles I think are worthy of being included in your library. I don't know if every one of these titles is available for every platform out there, so make sure you double check if you've got a system that isn't the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally, but I can tell you that all of them run really well and are perfect fits on these 2 portable platforms. And I've been having a lot of fun playing these and watching with consternation as the AAA video game industry tries to sort itself out. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon with some new reviews and interviews and some news right here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. And until then, play forever.